Hello class, I decided to record two more videos today, so tomorrow we only gonna have to cover 74, 84, and 88 and they're very detailed. So let's quickly answer problem 70. It says using the following information to answer the next three exercises, which I just have assigned 70 and 72. 71 is in the book for you. All the numbers, they have the solutions in the book. It says the length of time it takes to find a parking space at 9 in the morning follows a normal distribution, so we know that's our curve, with a mean of 5 minutes. So let's put it here so you can see it. With a mean of 5 minutes and a standard deviation of actually, my insert right here, and a standard deviation of 2 minutes. Okay, and it says based upon the given information and numerically justify, would you be surprised if it took less than 1 minute to find a parking space? Well, your mean is 5. Okay, your standard deviation, let me get right here. Okay, so it's telling you that your mean right here, put right here, it's 5, right in the middle, and your standard deviation is 2. So if you calculate the intervals for 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviation, 3 standard deviation, which would be your normal distribution, so you would say that um, 68%, 68.27%, or 1 standard deviation from the mean is equals to your mean plus, for the positive side, 1 times 2, your standard deviation, correct? And then if you do below, actually let's put on this side. Let's put the positive on this side and negative on this side. And then we go the mean minus 1 times your standard deviation, okay? Here we go. I'm actually gonna do better. I'm gonna do the cells and I'm gonna freeze them. So I can just copy these formulas and carry it down. I'm gonna do the cell and I'm gonna freeze it with the uh, key F4, and then for my standard deviation, same thing. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this down. So I just have to do minus 2 standard deviations. Oops, not 32. We could, but we don't. We're not looking for that. And then we're doing 2, and then right here for the last one you're gonna do a 3 standard deviations and a 3 standard deviations. So your values right here would be a minus 1. For 2 you would be a 1, and for 1 it would be a 3, and over here for 1 would be a let me merge this so and make it in the middle. So it would be a 7, over here would be a 9, and then for 3 would be a 11, and we could keep going for 4. But we don't need that. I just want to show when they say based upon the given information numeric justify. Okay, so here I am. Here's what I expect to see. 68%, 68.27% of my distribution, I'm expecting to follow between 3 and 7. Or you could do this if it was a interval. And then you're expecting 95.44% to falls between 1 and 9. And then I'm expecting a 99.72% falls between a minus 1, a negative 1, and 11. Okay, so if you know that my average is a 5, and I have a standard deviation of 2 minutes, Okay, so if I would just do one standard deviation, really my average to find a parking space is 5 minutes, and I'm expecting something between 3 and 7, let's say, to find a parking space. Or even if I push a little further, a 1 and 9 minutes to find a parking space. But here I'm really pushing. I'm already at 3 standard deviations from my mean. So then I have a negative amount and an 11. Those are my extremes, almost. And then we could go with the outlier, which I don't need to do that. But the question is, would you be surprised if it took less than 1 minute? Oh, yes, I sure would. Because I'm expecting the most of my minutes to be in this area right here between 3 and 7. If I go anything to my extreme, yes, I would be surprised because that's 3 standard deviations from my mean. So that would be your answer, yes. And that's how you would just find numerically. I want to give you all the details, and now we're going to do 72, which I put this bell curve here, which is exactly the same thing you see here, but even more divided. See, let me put it right here so you can see what I'm saying. Of course, I'm going to make it smaller, put it over here. Okay, do you see right here how it says between 0 and 1 standard deviation and minus 1 standard deviation is 34? Now they're dividing for you in half. So they're doing half standard deviation, 1.5 standard deviation, and so forth and so on. Okay, so why did I put this bell curve here? Well, this question, we're still following the 5 minutes for the mean and 2 for the standard deviation. So I copy my mean and my standard deviation. Okay, it says 70% of the time it takes more than how many minutes to find a parking space. Well, now uh, I wasn't giving a z-score. I'm giving a percentage. I'm giving I was giving the mean, I was giving the standard deviation, and I'm giving a percentage. If you do go to your z table and you remember what I told you, uh, these are your z-scores and these are your percentages. So you're gonna do the other way around. You're still gonna be using the formula, this formula, to answer 72, but you're just gonna have to turn things the other way around, and I'm gonna show you. Well, right here, 70% of the time, if you look at here, 70%, so this is 50%, right? And then 20% more is about here. You would expect to find a value of z-score about half, okay, or 70% is going to be right here. So you should find a z-score about half. If you don't, it's probably incorrect. That's why I put this here to show you the details. We know that this half right here is 50%, and then if we look at this, how they split our 68 now in 4 parts, this part here is about 20%, so half. What I mean by that, okay, right here, 70% of the time. Let's go back to the Z table. So now I'm going to be looking for percents. I'm not going to be percentage. I'm not going to be looking for z-score. So where is 70% in here? Well, there it is. We have, remember I said half, about half of your z-score. So here is 0.6915. Can we get any closer to 70%? Well, 0.6950 right here, 0.6985. Well, we could use a value of 0.52, zero point 0.5 combined with 0.02. We could use a value, a z-score value of 0.52 to solve this problem, but I want to be even more precise. So I'm going to actually average these two values right here so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm averaging now the 6985, so equals 0.6985. Are you following me? Right here with the 0.7019. So plus, I'm averaging then. And then now I'm going to divide then by 2 I could just do an average, but I want to show you the whole calculation from the beginning. There we go. That's very close to our 70%, isn't it? So I know that the average is between these two. So I could safely say that my z-score could be a 0.525 because I want to be as precise as I can. So a 0.525 because I got the value in between these two. Okay, so let's go back here. So we figure that our z-score is a 0.525, right? We know that our mean is 5, and we know that our standard deviation is 2, and then you have this formula right here. Well, in this case, we can solve for x, which will be algebra. So we're going to do a 0.525, right? And then we're going to do equals to x minus 5, your mean, and this is going to be divided by your standard deviation. Okay, so put it like this. Okay, I'm just put the z value, I repeated the x minus my mean divided by my standard deviation. I'm gonna do 0.25 times 2 equals 2x minus 5, and then I'm doing 105 plus 5. I'm carrying this 5 over here, so negative becomes positive, equals to x. So 70% of the time it takes more than how many minutes to find a parking space. So 70% of the time it takes more than 6.05 or 6% or 6 minutes. It takes more than 6 minutes to find a parking space. So equals 6. So equals 6 minutes. And that would be problem 72. And tomorrow I plan to do the other 3 problems. Thank you.